All right, welcome to our January 27th edition of Hoops Tracker, the girls edition. Hoops Tracker is your source for Colorado basketball. Man, we are so excited. We're over halfway through the season. Lots of great games, lots of things going on, and some records are starting to be broken. This is huge. So just remember, your source for Colorado basketball is hoopstracker.net. Catch us on social media at Hoops Tracker. Had a crazy week last week with weather, but had some great interviews. We'll be posting an interview with the new head coach at Berthoud, and then we got some other great things going on. Wow. Okay. Huge news. What happened over the weekend? Bree Crittenden breaks the 2,000 point mark, the fastest player in Colorado history, boys or girls, to get to this mark. The last 2 years, she's averaged over 800 points in a season, and she is on track. She hit the 2,000 mark on Saturday. Huge shout out. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Sienna Betts on the verge of being the all time rebounder in Colorado. And then Cherry Creek keeps rolling. They are 6-0 since the coaching change, and we'll get to that. But really quick, some commits. Jaden Lodice from Chatfield commits to, I believe it's Merchant Marine Academy, and then Aslan Corella from Legend. This young lady is one of the most improved players we've seen. She did a great job this summer playing for Grit Hoops. She now commits to Mount Royal University. Congratulations. Huge shout out. This young lady, she's on fire. We are definitely watching Aslan as we go into looking at players for the show. And speaking of the show, the 25th anniversary of the show All-Star Game is happening at the end of March, at the end of the season. The best players from Colorado will be there for an All-Star weekend, boys and girls. More to come on that. As we mentioned, huge shout out to Bree Crittenden. Cannot give more kudos to this young lady. Breaks 2,000 points. Lots of questions, lots of things, but all I can say is she's done it. I mean, you know, double, triple covered. I always hear stories about how people say she's not. Well, I've been to those games and I see everybody doubles and triple covers her. She still, even in good games against good competition, is cranking out 30 plus points a game. Huge shout out. Sienna Betts, she is 2 rebounds from being in the number 2 spot. By the end of the season, this young lady will be the all time leading Colorado rebounder in Colorado history. Among the likes of Ashton Prechtel, Tanya Have, I mean, some of the big greats, Reagan Beers, Lauren Betts, her sister. This young lady has done it all. She's an all around player. Huge shout out to Sienna. And recently, a freshman up at Fort Collins, Taylor Alcaraz, breaks the 3 point record at Fort Collins for a freshman, 7 3-pointers in a game. Huge shout out to Taylor. Of course, she breaks her sister's record, Avery, who had it at 6. Congratulations. They keep it in the family. Big shout out to her. Last week games, wow, we had some great games. Roosevelt over Timnath. It's phenomenal. I mean, this Roosevelt team is really good. They're still led. I mean, Kyla Hollier had 23 points. Ryan Banson Price had 12. They are on track to win this league with no problem, but they're also one of the top 5A teams in the state, and we'll see how things are coming together for them. Um, as we get into Holy Family beats Horizon, Alexia Oaxa, and I forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this name, but 18 points. This young lady has been the core of this team, leading this team in scoring, leading this team in rebounding. She is really coming into her own. Gracie Ward and then Contreras both have 12 points in that game. But a big win for Holy Family, right? They're a 4A school playing in a 5A, 6A league, and they're going to be hitting some big competition like Broomfield, Horizon, Monarch. Um, you know, you've got some really good teams in that league, and they're running into them. Heritage Christian takes out Flatirons Christian 52-32. Regis at Thunder Ridge. Regis is back on track. Ileana Green hits, I believe she got 17 points in this game, but even more so, Elise Lynette had 11 points, and that's huge for them. They get back on the winning track. Highlands Ranch at Shap. Addie Moon, I believe, has her first 20-point game. Congratulations, Addie. Tori with 17. Jada Rogers, the freshman, with 16 and a big win over Chaparral. Now, Lauren Thompson and Maddie Jenkins had 10 points. But, Highlands Ranch gets the big win, leading into what's going to come up to some big games this next week. But still on the trail, Cherokee Trail rolls on Arapahoe 74-50, but not without a price. Talia Strode goes down. We think it's an ankle. We're not exactly sure, but we're hoping that she does well. But Aaliyah brought us 18 points, blows up in that game. Gianna Smith held to 11 points. Gianna, one of the top point guards in the state, going to Colorado State. Huge win for Cherokee Trail in that brutal Centennial League. And then Air Academy puts Discovery Canyon to rest. No problems there. A big upset in the Jeffco. Columbine beats Ralston Valley at home against Ralston Valley. I'm floored. And what's amazing is Mason Abram from Columbine, 19 points. And Ralston Valley, Santana Sabas has been leading scoring, only held to 11 points, but Sammy Madden had 15. Big, huge win for Columbine in that Jeffco League. Everybody thought it was just Ralston Valley and Valor, but Columbine shows up with the big upset. Thompson Valley goes to Roosevelt. Roosevelt takes care of business. University, Eaton goes to University. Now, University, they're right now sitting number one at the top of the HoopsTracker 4A poll. Janae Kravig blows up in this game, has 15 points. Courtney Steinkamp for Eaton held to 12. Great matchup. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this University team as we get down into March. And then Durango at Montrose, huge win for Montrose. Macy Oberg, 23 points, blows it up, setting up a big matchup this upcoming week against Fruita Monument. Erie loses to Broomfield. Broomfield takes care of business in a low-scoring defensive game, 35-29. Green Mountain continues to roll in 5A. Jeffco beating Stanley Lake. Great performance. They are primed and they're getting ready. Salida goes to Colorado Springs Christian, comes up just short on Friday night. Huge matchup there. That's a big 3A matchup. We had that as 3A game of the week last week. And then another big 3A game is Resurrection Christian goes to Strasburg and loses in overtime. Huge shout out. Olivia Klein held to 20 points, but Peyton Moreau, 25 points for Strasburg. That is a huge win. I'm not quite sure Resurrection Christian was expecting that, but some of these top teams are in the north. You got Resurrection Christian, you got Strasburg, you got Eaton, but then down south, you got the Springs, you got Salida. So we'll see. Saturday, Cherokee Trail without Talia Strad, just comes up short against Grandview. Grandview 51-46. Sienna Betts, another double-double. I believe she's had a double-double in every game this season except for one, which was down at the Nike TOC. She drops 28 points. She is just having a phenomenal season. Air Academy at Thunder Ridge, they take care of business. Um, Big game for Tatiana Braun. I believe she had 22 points. And then Mullen, Arapahoe pulls out a big Centennial win over Mullen, and that's huge. So as we go into this week's games, let's just check out and see what we've got lined up. So Monday night, Vista Ridge at Mesa Ridge. This is going to be a big Springs matchup leading into some other big Springs games coming up later in the week. But Fruta at Montrose, this is for the mountain, the top mountain, Western Slope team. That's going to be a huge game. Frederick at Monarch, Highlands Ranch at Mountain Vista. This game is going to be a great game. You've got Highlands Ranch hitting on all cylinders. Mountain Vista, this is going to be a big test because they haven't really played a top 10 team yet, I believe. And this is going to be their first big test in their league. And they still got Legend, they still got Regis. So we're going to see where they stand. Palmer Ridge at Air Academy. This is a huge Colorado Springs matchup because Air Academy, I believe, is undefeated. Palmer Ridge, one of the top teams in their conference, going into Air Academy. Big sparks are going to be flying in Colorado Springs. Cherry Creek at Eagle Crest on Wednesday. Creek is 6-0. We'll see if they can keep it up. Grandview at Mullen, another big matchup in that Centennial League. Then moving to the City League, you got Denver East at Northfield. You got Legend at Regis. That is going to be a big game of the week right there. That is probably for the Continental League Championship. But both of those teams still have to play Mountain Vista and Highlands Ranch. Yes. And so Vista Ridge at Pine Creek, another big 6A matchup for those teams down there. Discovery Canyon at Lewis Palmer on Thursday. And then Friday, Fruta at Durango, another big Western Slope game. Kit Carson at Stratton. This is a huge rivalry. They're right next to each other down out there on the Eastern Plains. Big 1A matchup there. Arapahoe goes to Grandview. Cherokee Trail at Cherry Creek. This is our big game of the week in the Centennial League. This is going to be a great test for that Cherry Creek team because since Highlands Ranch, they've been slowly building up and getting that win. And this is going to be another big thing, stepping stone for them to see. Are they in that top 10? Can they maintain their top 10 matchup? Arvada West at Ralston Valley, huge Jeffco League matchup. And Simla at Marino. This is a big 1A, I believe 1A, 2A matchup. Marino undefeated, and I think they've been undefeated for the last 2 years. This team is on a roll. We'll see how they do. All right. Where are we with rankings? All right. We still got Valor, Grandview Ranch, Broomfield. Cherokee Trail loses a tough one to Grandview. We'll keep them at number 5. They might slide down 1 point. But you got Legend, you got Cherokee Trail or Cherokee Creek, and then you've got Riverdale Ridge, you got Pine Creek, Ralston Valley. We'll see. We also will take a look at the Packard rankings in one of our later shows and have a special show dedicated to just the rankings so people can get educated on that. Girls rankings 5A, Air Academy, Meade, Mullen, Green Mountain. These are your top 4 teams. They are on fire. Windsor making noise up north. They beat Rocky Mountain last week. I know they beat in Fort Collins. They are in charge of that Northern League, right? And you have Windsor in one league and Roosevelt in the other. And so these are some of the top teams. You got Windsor, Roosevelt, Palmer Ridge making a lot of noise, Thompson Valley, Durango making a lot of noise, and then Golden. So who's on the outskirts looking in at 6A? You got Regis, Denver East, Rock Canyon, Doherty, Arapahoe, Arvada West, Mountain Vista. We might need to add Columbine to that list after their big upset over Ralston Valley. And then 5A, right? You got Montrose sitting on the outside looking in. You got Stanley Lake. You got Frederick, Pueblo East, GW, Lutheran still sitting out. We'll take a quicker look there. 4A, like we said, University #1. Timnath lost last week to Roosevelt, top 5A, but they're still there. Diablo 3, Skyview 4, Holy Family sticking at 5. We'll see if they can make a climb. Then you got Delta, Peak to Peak, Alamosa, Jefferson Academy, Lamar, and Berthoud. Berthoud actually just took a big loss to Northridge at the end of on Saturday. So we'll see where they end up. 3A, Resurrection Christian loses to Strasburg in double overtime. All right, here we go. Resurrection Christian, you're dropping down to number 3, and we're moving everybody else up. So, you got Denver Christian that will be at number 1. You've got Strasburg at number 2, and then we will have Resurrection Christian right there at number 3. Now you've got Centauri, which that is, these are your top teams. You got CSCS that had a big win over Salida over the weekend. Cedar Ridge, Yuma, Salida, St. Mary's, Platte Valley, Roaring Fork. You got a lot of teams. Kent and Denver's starting to make that role in that Metro League, making wins. So we will take care of that. But let's jump into that and let's get into players of the week. All right, you got Bree Crittenden from Riverdale Ridge, 2,000 points. Huge shout out. Kennedy Spellman drops 41. She's going to be tested this week against Highlands Ranch. Taylor Alcaraz, freshman, gets the 3-point record at Fort Collins. It's 7 3-pointers. Congrats to her. Brooke Harding, Rock Canyon at 23. Peyton Marrero, Strasburg, 25. And Breeza Flores at Highland also with 25. Congratulations to these players. Really excited. Don't forget about our prep writer show where the prep writers in the state talk about what's going on this week. And if you've got news, DM us, shoot us out on HoopsTracker. We're excited to be there. Looking forward to talking to everybody, seeing you in the gym. With that, stay warm, stay safe. This is Jerry Howard with HoopsTracker, your source for Colorado women's basketball. Have a great day.